Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Market Mama's channel. My name is Kendra, and I have Becky here with me. We are day traders, both from the West Coast, US based. We have been trading for a little over 3 years now, and it's been quite the journey. And about a little over a year, we decided to create a podcast. And we really wanted to just create a safe space to discuss how challenging this journey is, and specifically serve in the area of psychology, because it has been a huge factor in our learning and our development. And it's just a struggle. It's a daily struggle. So we're here today with another topic, and we're super excited to talk about how to not complicate trading, but instead keep it simple. So we got to give a nod to our guy, EP Eddie Pinero from Your World Within podcast, who we love so much, because one of his best mantras states, simplicity is the greatest form of sophistication. And boy, do we get that on so many levels, having traded all these years now.
Oh my gosh, totally. It's so easy to overcomplicate trading. It's way easier to overcomplicate it than it is to keep it simple. So I think as we've grown, we really it's sunk in how it actually is much more valuable to settle down a little bit and don't get messy with it. There's so much data, there's so many indicators, there's so many styles that are available, and we want to gobble it all up, right? We want to learn all of it. It's better really to learn about many different indicators and studies out there. And kind of in the beginning, I think it is messy just because everything is new, right? But you can be exposed to everything, and then you can sort of weed through it and figure out what makes the most sense to you, what you see on the charts when you're watching real candles print, and then start to dial it in from there. You have to trim it down on what you choose to keep in your brain, in your trade plans, in your setup list, and then you got to start cutting out some of the noise. And only the ones that really speak to you and that you understand, that's what you really need to keep in your toolbox per se. And as it takes, months to years to really sort that out. And you can use the guidance of mentors and people around you that are trading and how they execute and if you understand it, and then just go from there, because you have to start trimming somewhere. And the sooner you do, the cleaner you'll feel in your trading, I think.
Yeah, I love that analogy of the trimming. I think in another episode before you said trimming off the fat, to get to the meat. And we need the meat and the muscle, right? That's where all our strength's at. So yeah, let's get it. So anyways, the art of keeping it simple, especially in the beginning years, is just really trying to master one strategy at a time and then build confidence for that edge. But then also respect that, of course, it won't work all the time. And that's why we have our stop losses. Training yourself to be a positive loser so you can actually play to trade another day. It seems very counterintuitive, but it's actually very critical to stay neutral. And you got to take a loss on some days. And then when you have that loss or even going through a drawdown period, it can often make you feel like you need to switch up your strategy or consume more. I think it's almost like a comfort. It's our comfort or a defense mechanism, really, because we want to deflect in that moment the attention away from ourselves. So it can be just embarrassing, right? Like when we underperform and let ourselves down, those negative feelings, they can just almost trick you into doubting your process or your trading abilities for that matter. But it's really quite the opposite. And it can just be way more helpful in those times to just slow down and just to really break down where your execution flaws are failing to properly implement your system, not where your system is failing you. It's always an inside job. It's always us. We need to keep that in mind and just realign ourselves with our process rather than trying to completely change it in most cases.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That we've said that too before. It's always an inside job. We are the crux of our trading. We are the core of who is executing. And the sooner you own that and work on that from that angle is the quicker you'll get better results, I think. Okay, here's a great example of that. With trending markets, it's not ideal to fade those markets. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but it's true. You want to go with her when you're having a trending day. And this has been a major area of growth for me personally. I am at my core, I am a mean reversion trader in my heart. I love trading back towards VWAP from a standard deviation 2-band so much. I see it everywhere. I see it and I want in with leverage. It's just my jam. And so to try and trade A trending market is harder because that basically rides the higher standard deviations and continues to move in that direction. And so fading that is a recipe for disaster. And so I know that I want to be a jack of all trades, right? I am purposefully now working on these damn trending days because I've got to get over that essentially. Like I'm going to be a trader for the rest of my life. And so I can't just like have certain setups that just suck for me. That's not how I intend to function. So for some of this discussion today, we'll be making reference to our next must-read book recommendation, and it's going to be One Good Trade by Mike Bellafiore. And he is actually the co-founder of the major prop firm in Manhattan, S&B Capital. So we love that book. And we went through it. It's a longer one. We had so many gems. And so we pulled out some of them to talk about the general topic of keeping it simple. And we're going to do a whole episode on it. So in an early quote from that book for this episode, I have to tell you what Bella said. So he says, if the market is falling, you short the crap out of it. Simple. Okay, got it. I hear you. I want to do it. I really do. I'm going to do it. And so really it is simple. You aim for a fair pullback to some kind of a rhythm, and then you join the big money that's pushing the market and you ride the directional momentum. That's it. Like that's the trade plan. It's easy peasy. It's a one-liner trade plan. So why do I literally have a physical aversion to it sometimes? It's a work in progress for me. And I have actually recently made some progress because I have completely reframed it. Instead of kind of dreading trending days, especially bullish trending days, instead of like not wishing for them, I'm now asking Miss Market to provide me the opportunities that I need to work on this area of improvement for myself to make me stronger and more well-rounded trader. So I'm putting my attention regarding these types of market in a positive, full of potential category in my brain. And that actually has led to really better outcomes now too. Thank goodness. So it's like a perspective of owning the challenge of it because I know that it's an area that I have room for growth. And so I'm constantly reminding myself that I know how to trade these days. The setup is simple and to just do it. And it's actually really gotten me somewhere. It's been good. So I'm really grateful to be able to be in this place right now.
Yeah, that is so great when we can really target and identify, okay, I need to improve on this area and I have to be like very intentional on forcing myself really, because like you said, I came to one of those conclusions myself. I was like, it's so okay. So let's just say what's funny is that I love that Becky and I are opposite. Like we are just how we see the market. And it's amazing because that's what's so beautiful about the market is, both sides are having this exchange all day long. So we are opposite, and I naturally prefer and seek out more continuation trades to the long side. So when Becky naturally wants to short, I naturally want to go long. It's really crazy. But so I have had to do the opposite of what Becky did and had to make myself, okay, you need to practice these balance, trading in these balanced conditions. You can't only seek out continuation trades to the long side because that's what I want. I want to find a established trend. I want to trade continuation, usually up. And so I've had to, in order to enhance my own skill set, I've had to, really simplify this for myself as well. So what I did is I created a specific guideline of parameters for when I would short when we did have these rotational markets. And so initially I focused for a good while on only shorting from VWAP to one band because I hate shorting above VWAP because that's just how my brain works. I want VWAP to hold and continue. So for a while, that's what I did. And I would have these parameters that had to be an already established rhythm from overnight session, or if we're later in our trading day, that has been the movement, that's been the pattern. And so that is something I did for myself, to serve myself better, to try to grow from that place. Defining our weak spots in our game and then creating plans to work them is how we do level up in this arena. In addition, there's always a need to improve our game while staying neutral about market direction, being flexible and open to receiving that real-time data. From the book, One Good Trade, Bella also says the market does not reward stubbornness. The market is not interested in how you wish stocks would trade. You adapt to the market. You do what the market demands. And that is the way it will always be. So The beauty of day trading is that we don't have to make these grand predictions every day to make money. We just need to stay in tune and focus on identifying low risk opportunities. And then once in a position, honor those specific parameters for that one opportunity. Not doing this can allow one trade to set off a domino-like effect and take over your whole trading session. We've all experienced this before and just look back to realize that we made our trading session like way harder than it had to be just by being stubborn.
Right. I have definitely been guilty of being a stubborn trader before, and it actually has never been a good thing. So I totally get that. All right. So if you do like we do and you journal your trades and you have been able to identify a trend within what really works for you, then you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So for example, what if you find that most of your losing trades are midday in a trading session? In One Good Trade regarding times of the day to trade, Bella wrote, new and developing traders tend to overtrade midday, and we see this on our desk. As such, we have implemented rules to regulate this. Basically, midday is just for exploiting our best setups and gathering valuable trading information for the close. I love that. He advises, furthermore, after that, he advises his traders to trade larger size and most of their trade executions during the times that are statistically most profitable for you, and then minimizing your risk during the weak time periods. So that is like an obvious thing, but it takes a while to fine tune this. It creates a powerful awareness on each individual trader's strong suits and weak points. No one is on point always, and all conditions are not created equal in the market. So it's definitely preferable when we can identify our strong suits and capitalize on them, while simultaneously in a trading day, cutting risk when we are less consistent. So this might seem obvious, but it's easier than I would think to slip into a trading trance and get really derailed from simple plans like this when we're left to our own devices. And so this is a major reason why I set my day up like I do in an ideal setting. So I know that I like the volume, the volatility, the energy, the price action, the candle size of the opening action of the market. I will trade when I'm trading. I trade the first hour or two of New York session, and then I walk away. Like I have to physically leave my office so that I'm not looking at the candles because they draw me in. So then I would like fully switch to my house, my kids, whoever's home from school, my live stream with my training program. After my morning trades, we talk about it and we learn. And then I also schedule my workouts for the mid-morning on the West Coast because that's lunchtime in New York. And it's the worst trading conditions. The volume goes down. It's choppy. Like you can have a good trade plan, but it can just wick you out and screw around at the VWAP forever. So this schedule, it revives me. And then even sometimes after that, if I want another trade or have an account that needs a trade in it or whatever, I can oftentimes see a great end of the day setup. Speaking of mean reversion, Becky, oftentimes there is a good trade towards the end of the day in the last hour. And so I can still feel fresh because I haven't sat in my computer for 8 hours straight. I've done other things. I've had this reset. I've been in my body and moved it. And now it's like fresh, clean eyes. You can see it more clearly. And so then that also not only is it balances my day, but my brain can stay sharp. And that has been my most proven successful times of the day, the first hour and the last hour. And so if you guys, once you really get into trading for any new traders, journal it out and notice these trends and really try to honor them because it can be a huge impact to your outcome if you recognize your strong suits and you play to that.
For sure. Do more of what serves you, definitely. And then I love how you talk about that structure and just having that predefined structure to your day. It can really make things flow so much nicer, especially when you're at home for the majority of your day, right? I often need to add in movement breaks myself to maximize my focus and productivity. There's a quote from Eddie Pinero, from a book Eddie Pinero recommended, actually, Deep Work by Cal Newport. And I love this. It just kind of goes right into what Becky was talking about. It goes, when you work hard, and when you're done, be done. So I really think that is the key to staying, motivated, creative, and avoiding burnout, and then just being very intentional with your efforts, So a pre-market routine also can be kept simple. And I know this because I've gone from extremely rigid regimens. Becky knows about all my different pre-market strategies. to more laid back, style that varies. And over time, when I look back, it really hasn't been a large differentiator. But there, of course, has been, times I've needed to switch things up and, just see what my mind and body is responding to more. And we did do a really great episode on our top 10 pre-market habits. So check that out. But just really focusing on that, there are, of course, the non-negotiables you have to have in your pre-market routine, like being well prepared. Your chart should always be updated, and you should always have a solid game plan that you're confident about, before you go into your trading session, because you need something to gauge and explain why you are participating at any point or looking to. And I want to say in the One Good Trade book, that is also a point that Bella brought up, is that at any point in time, like, we don't have a trading boss over us, right? But the traders that work at these firms, like, they have people that are checking on them, like, what are you doing right now? So if anyone were to come over your shoulder, like, what are you looking for right now? Why are you participating right now? You should always be able to answer that with confidence, with clarity. And if you can't, then clearly you should be off the screens. You should not be participating. And Becky has talked about before about, being able to see the forest within the trees. But it's just very challenging, because when the market opens, we can get suckered into trades that we had not intended to take. So setting yourself alerts, live note taking, these can help quiet that noise and just really align your behavior with those intentions for that session. And even if you don't end up green for your day, if you follow your plan and you traded purposefully, you did your job and you're done.
Yeah, I love that, Kendra. And talking about the pre-market video that is going to be linked in the show, just notes below. We do have a lot of options in that video, but it's because there's so many things that speak to different people. And so I love when we did that and we dug into all of the different things that can bring us value in the morning, because it helped me even see what helps me the most. And I only do a few of them each day, because those are the ones that are most powerful and impactful for me. And so definitely I would encourage you guys, if you haven't watched that video, to check it out, because that can help you have ideas on what would give you the best setup for your day. It's powerful when you dial in what feeds you the most appropriately. And I love the piece that it can bring when you do everything to your best ability, and we know that we followed a process and we live to trade another day, regardless of the day's outcome. So littered throughout the One Good Trade book was really so many concepts that fit within that idea. Many of those will be in our next episode, like we said, more exclusive to that book. But I really love the part in it about flexibility. And so let's talk about it today. Some of the quotes from that are, there is always a solution to your recent struggles, but that solution mandates that you look in the mirror and determine what is not working and find the trade patterns that are. Even after becoming a consistently profitable trader, you will have to tweak your system. Oh, that is such good advice. The road to becoming a consistently profitable trader, it will never have a destination. It will be constantly, you as that aspiring trader, you're going to be constantly working, growing, learning, evolving, and expanding, even after you're making good money. And that with the unending profit margin, it makes it so appealing to me as a way of life, that trading that I can forever grow into, because I constantly will never be done learning, but I can make profits along the way. And that's so beautiful. So more from Bella on being flexible and for the long game in changing markets and or world news impact. It goes like this. This is what he says. This is the life of a trader. Every different market will make you a better trader. What doesn't blow up your account will make you better. Successful traders obsess over solid fundamentals like one good trade. So that's just the best advice from a trading legend about embracing the unknown as a means of opportunity and potential, and keeping your simple system to help you navigate that. You don't rely on complicated setups, because as soon as you really dial in something like a complicated setup, market sentiments could shift, negating its whole premise. But if we have our chart fundamentals locked in with market context and phases, this could be adjusted and applied much more effectively in shifting conditions. The key being, from my understanding anyway, is that we need to just stay present with what is printing on the charts in front of us and what the picture is coming out to be, what it appears to be, what the picture's painting each day. So you just staying present and knowing what it looks like to go in a long position, staying present and knowing what it'll look like to be a short indicator. That is how you really trade, instead of having these grand, complicated systems. Just being present and knowing that she can do anything that she wants to miss the market, and then recognizing when you see something familiar and understanding your risk with that. That is essentially the core of all of this, keeping it simple.
That reminds me of one of our Becky and our first trading educational courses, where we would always hear "trade what you see," and it was so freaking annoying to hear that at that stage in our trading, because we were like, oh no, I don't know, we didn't even really know what we were seeing, and then we had all these other things on top of that, but all these years later, it's like it really makes sense. Like, where is price? What is volume doing? Like, who's in control? But anyways, I believe that is how it should be as well. Everything that you said, Becky, for sure. And there are countless ways to get overwhelmed with all the things that are not actually serving us. The more we add on, the harder it can become to really see what we should be leaning more in towards or away from. So I remember when I took on learning a more advanced style, I definitely took a period of completely stripping my charts of almost everything I had previously learned to rely on and factor in on how I would read the market up to that point in time. And I knew that if I were to fully, dedicate to learning a different way, that I would have to start, from a clean slate. And then potentially I could add back in things, if I wanted to after the fact. And so that really helped, that really helped me to be able to, endure the resistance that I knew would come from, going from this way that I had, felt was how I was going to become a consistently profitable trader, to completely, pivoting and, essentially kind of starting over in a sense. So, that's just, it's common to encounter that resistance when you are letting go of old ways, when you do want to level up, but that is a huge part of keeping things simple. And for me, it was the best thing I could have done, because you can't have 1 foot here and 1 foot there, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and try to find any solid ground to stand on for long. And in trading, you do really have to have that ability to stick it out, because sticking it out is what rewards us. And from learning an edge and honing it, to enduring the painful lessons, being the forever student of the game, and then holding, our trades to our intended targets. Like, all those require that ability to be able to stick it out, see things through. And this is our experience anyway. I'm glad we got to do this episode and just get to share in it, how we've learned from having overcomplicated trading ourselves. And so, yeah, I just hope that it all resonates with you guys.
Right. That's like the point of Market Mamas. Like, we've grown tremendously in the last 3 years. And now we are thinking through what has helped us the most and what we still have in our mind, because we need it every day to keep us on track. And that's how we come up with these episode topics, is like, this message is really valuable and it's really helped me in my trading day. Maybe we should talk about it. And then an episode is born. So hopefully this is resonating with you guys, because it's out of love and from what we have learned the hard way. Okay. I really think that this whole concept of simplifying trading is honestly such a relief. Trading has to be complicated and vast and huge and weird and uncomfortable for a while when it's new. There is a massive learning curve during your first several months of learning about the market and how to execute trades, what systems are available, what a real edge even is. But after that initial front loading, then it does become highly variable, as Kendra said, between us even, person to person, with how and what sticks in our minds first and foremost. And then that gives us which direction we should go down, which path we should take that really works with our personality. So then comes the fine tuning and psychological evolution phases of your early trading career. And this part is the trickier part. It takes months to years, really. But after you know enough to be dangerous, it can really simplify, with the core of it looking like you are at your desk, peaceful environment, calm your body and mind, preparing reminders on what your setups are and how they might present in real time. You organize your day's potential trade plans with pre-market data. And then when your trading session opens, You just ideally will sit calmly and watch for potential opportunity. No jumping long when a bullish candle prints and then getting lost on the 1-minute chart and over managing because you were impatient and really wanted to get started. No, don't do that. But to have a calm curiosity about what Miss Market will offer this day and a readiness to join if she shows you your entry criteria. Simple. It's beautiful. It's profitable. It can be that simple. This is our jam, Kendra and I. This is the goal. This is how we intend to show up each day. This is what we tell ourselves, set out our clear trade plan with what works with us and what we're seeing, and then watch for your signals. So thank you for being with us today at Market Mamas. We're really grateful for everyone who likes and subscribes and comes back again and finds value with us, because it's what we're here for, All the ways to contact us are listed in the description below, and we love conversations with traders, so hit us up. And then you guys, watch out. The very next episode we're going to put out is going to be the one that digs deep into the really excellent book of One Good Trade, and that's going to be coming out in just a couple of days. So our best trading days are ahead. Thank you for being here with us.
Everyone, have a good day. Take care. Bye.